There's another one from the Beehive called Bzz, Bzz. Oh yeah.
You kind of have
If I
to.
can't hear myself loud, I assume that I'm not loud enough and I'll start fucking yelling.
If he could talk and put it in his mouth at the same time, he would.
Does not work. Try and fail.
That's a comment.
Yeah.
So should we all make another clock every now and then just to mess with the audio?
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck with Chris.
Are you ready to make this fucking magic happen?
Yeah.
This is a very awkwardly shaped hat. It feels weird.
Maybe the hat's perfect and your head's awkward.
Impossible.
Oh,
Impossible.
Anyone else complaining about the hats?
not that I know of.
No, okay. Just checking.
Yeah. Common denominator, Ben's head is messed up. Oh, God. Alright, let's get this show on the road. You ready? Okay. Hey, Tyler, you know what grinds my gears?
What's that, Ben?
Not using a clutch.
It's not as good as my polar bear joke.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go?
No, it didn't.
Yeah. No, it didn't.
No.
I didn't think, no. What about you, Adam?
Working on your dad jokes. Like for older in life.
Yeah, I will say my dad jokes that like there's a couple of them that I have to announce to my wife like aha, 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 and she just looks at me like, God, you are generally a funny person. That was terrible. God awful. Sorry. I'm learning. Leave me alone.
Throw a giggity in there so she knows.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Ben and Tyler and Adam. I guess there's a very handsome man in between us. We tend to have lots of handsome men between us. You notice that?
I think I'm leaving.
Yeah. It's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
All right. So this has been Tyler and Adam from America's Diesel Podcast coming at you from Spokane, Washington. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We're going to get right into this episode because we have a special guest. His name is Adam. His last name is Blattenberg.
Damn, good for you. I got it right, too. That's a tough
I
one.
was practicing in the mirror in the bathroom for like 45 minutes. Make sure and check us out on Google Play, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, anywhere that you listen to podcasts. You can find us there by searching America's Diesel Podcast. You can also find us on the old YouTubes. Now, if you have any questions or want to leave a comment, you can join the family, the crew that we have commenting regularly on there. You can even comment on Jim Lawrence's dissertation because he writes us huge-ass comments every episode, and I love it. He does. We have a listener. His name is Jim Lawrence. He's our unofficial fact checker. He's not on the payroll. And he just started leaving comments that were like really thoughtful and all of them.
You should have told me that before. We could have come up with so many different stats that didn't make sense.
You still can.
Yeah.
He'll check them.
Yeah.
And he legit leaves like the best like thought. Actually, there's a couple other guys that have started chiming in too, but they leave like really good like thoughtful long comments. And I read them and I laugh my ass off. Sometimes I cry a little bit. It makes me happy in the heart. It's good stuff.
Do you know much about the special coolant that Volkswagen Bugs use?
Jim
Jim.
Tim Lawrence. Fact check that. Fact checker. All right. You can also check us out on the social medias. Facebook, Instagram, formerly TikTok. Haven't logged in weeks. I assume our videos are not viral because I haven't been kicked off yet because they sent me emails for that one. But you can find us on there by searching. What?
I was just going to say, do more videos of yourself. You might do more.
As much as I feel like I like to or want to, I always get like halfway through and I'm like, I lost motivation.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, you can find us on there by searching America's Diesel Podcast. You guessed it. I was leaving the pause in there like all the kids shows do. Yeah. Yeah, that's right, America's Diesel Podcast. Nice work. Tyler, hit me with reviews.
Reviews, we need to keep those reviews coming. We need, I'm going to say 175 now, because we have gotten some more.
More than 169.
Yeah, I have stolen 2 old people's phones and 5-star reviewed our podcast. So just keep doing that, guys. Keep doing that. We're moving up. Screenshot your review on any of the platforms that Ben mentioned earlier. Send that to podcast@dieselpowerproducts.com. Make sure you include a picture of your truck and an address so we can send a sticker to that looks just like the logo on our Grizzly Cups that we also have for sale as well. And that logo behind Adam's head.
All right. And lastly, if you need parts for your diesel pickup and you want to talk to me or Tyler, but you need your parts fast, wouldn't recommend it. 100%. I'll be honest with you. That's slight joke, but slight not. If you need to get a hold of someone real quick and ask questions about things being in stock, if you have questions on your application, we do have sales techs on the phone 12 hours a day, Monday through Friday. That's 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific time. We have 4 people, very knowledgeable, waiting to take your call, do your chat, all that kind of good stuff, and get you going. If you do have questions directly for us, though, and you're not necessarily on a time crunch, you can always shoot me or Tyler an email directly. Sometimes you can catch us on the phone, sometimes not. I wouldn't plan on it, but it's always a nice surprise. I'm trying to put us on a pedestal here, but so I feel bad when I get like
you will get treated 75% better if you mention listening to the podcast.
Yes. Lastly, if you are placing an order over the phone or on the old interwebs and you are a podcast listener, because you're listening to this and now you know, make sure you write podcast in the notes section and receive absolutely nothing. But that helps me actually prove to the guys upstairs that people actually spend money to listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
It's a wicked web we weave.
Can throw in an extra sticker or two for it.
Oh yeah, actually yeah.
The
If you are
incentive program you're creating is honestly shit.
Evidently, we care more about reviews than people placing orders, which that's debatable. But yeah, I will say most people I do end up talking to, you try to help out with something.
Yeah.
You know, throw thank you emails and a shirt or sticker or something like that. But depends on what time of day you catch me and if I've had my daily poop yet.
Fair enough.
You know, sometimes I may be a little cranky. Let one out. Sometimes I'll just go back on one. Feel happy. You never know.
Light on his feet.
Light on my feet. Agile.
So many comments. Stay away.
All right, so let's get into the show here. So we've got Adam over here. Adam, thanks for being here.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
Cool. That's our show. Goodbye, everybody.
Yeah, thanks. It's fun.
That's as interesting as Adam gets.
Yep.
I'm just kidding.
You're not even kidding. Not kidding at all.
So Adam, who are you? Where you're from? And what? Did your microphone just drop on?
Stay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, tell us about yourself.
Yeah. Adam Blattenberg, run DieselWorld Magazine. It's not just a magazine. We've omni-media brand, I guess as we're calling it now. So we've got events, our social media pages on everywhere, Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, of course. DieselWorldMag.com. I think we've got about 2,000 articles up on there right now. Just anything a diesel enthusiast could want is, well, other than the parts themselves, could want to read about maybe or watch is all on there. Big thing we're starting now is our own branded events, and we're doing a lot of live streams.
Nice.
We're doing 12 live streams this year, or sorry, next year. This year I think we did 9 from events around the country, so a lot of travel, but
Yeah.
it's been a fun job.
Sounds fun.
The last 8 years.
What'd you do before?
Before that, I worked for a company that was called then Source Interlink. It's now essentially Motor Trend.
Yeah.
And I ran an RV publication.
Ooh.
Yeah.
RV.
So when you guys used to have towing power products, which I don't even know if that's much of a thing anymore.
I think we still own the name, but the website's killed off and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah. That's when I first met Brian Cooper was at that. And then before that, I was a mechanic for 10 years.
I don't know.
Doing fabricator, suspension stuff, just truck shop mechanic, so whatever, you can think of it, any truck accessory shop, I was installing that stuff. And just decided at one point that I wanted to go to, I guess, white collar.
Yeah.
Not really, not
Yeah.
fully white collar, but someone offered me a job at a magazine and jumped at it. We all grew up just drooling over magazines, so
Oh,
I
yeah.
did at least.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I would always go to the store and I didn't have enough money to buy it, the magazine myself. So I just sit there for like, as my mom shopped, just looking through the magazines. I was like, okay, I gotta go. Mom, can I get this one? No. Okay.
I had the centerfolds. It sounds bad. Truck magazine is it's a big truck in the centerfold.
Yeah,
Back in
yeah.
the day it was all around my
Oh yeah.
all around my room and
Cut out and make little
yeah.
posters for your wall. Oh yeah.
Still have way too many magazines in the basement of my house.
Oh yeah.
The first issue of Diesel Power, the first issue of Hot Rod, the first issue of Diesel World. Like,
Oh wow. Right on. Like worth any money?
no.
It's not like a comic book where you get issue 1. No.
Wish it was.
Yeah.
Wish it was. Buying the house with all that.
Right.
So, what is your favorite type of event? You mentioned that you guys go to a lot of events. What's your favorite type?
I mean, the diesel events, for the most part, are all kind of the same. I mean, just, dyno drags, dirt drags, sled pull. So my favorite type, I can't really say because they're all kind of pretty close. My favorite one to go to, hands down, is Truck Mania in Sacramento. Call Challenge, I love, don't get me wrong. Call Challenge is the Super Bowl for diesel, but Truck Mania, it's no pun intended, it's just mania the whole time. It's just a bunch of people just going crazy, and the dirt drags are, well, sorry, not dirt drags. They do sled pull and then they do a tough truck, so they've essentially got a side-by-side track set up, and everyone just goes and beats their stuff up on the side-by-side track. It's awesome to watch. Sled pulls are a lot of fun to watch. I don't know, it's just, I don't have a good explanation for it. It's just craziness the whole time. It's just a big party, everyone has fun, and there's so much to do. It's not something where you just show up and you're watching other people race with their trucks. It's everyone there enters into something. The donut pit, the burnout, the drag racing, whatever it is. So it's just a fun event.
Yeah.
We had an idea how to make sled pulls more exciting.
Is this going to be the open house for next year?
Well, I'm not sure this will be something you want to publish. We had some ideas. We making almost like an obstacle course sled pull. Because like when you're towing, sometimes it's just not like a nice clean road.
Sometimes a barrel race with a sled.
Yeah, that's what we're kind of thinking. And then we're thinking like, wow, this time in our country's history, there's a lot of protests. And everybody jokes about it, but what if we actually set up like mannequins that your goal was to just mow down as many mannequins as possible, as humanly possible? Just ideas, spitballing here.
Yeah. Feel free to run up the flagpole, let the big guys know.
But if you do, we'll take 10-15% assets proceeds of that event. But yeah, just kind of making it a little bit, more aesthetically pleasing.
So we do this in Portland? No?
Yes, downtown Main Street.
Like with the Grand Prix, sometimes they'll shut down like the downtown Monaco or something like that. We'll shut down like downtown Portland, and we'll find a nice bend in the street. Like, where's that big library they have? It kind of like has a little bend in the street right there.
Yeah.
So we do in Long Beach when they do the Grand Prix. You just allow people to cross the track.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No crossing guards.
Yeah.
This is horrible.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the end of my brand.
We did actually like for sled pulling though. The one thing that I thought would be kind of cool is a strictly 6-liter class.
Oh.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of
Explosions.
They're exciting, and everybody's like, is it gonna blow up? Is it not? And 6 liters are a dime a dozen, and it's kind of fun to watch something that is inherently always.
I got it.
Yeah.
So I was watching Grand Tour now,
Yeah.
right? They had when they were trying to figure out what was the worst vehicle ever made, and so the winner was the first one to fail, basically, the first one to die or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
We should do that like with the 6.4. Like the first one to just completely blow their shit up is the winner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How fast can you tater your crap?
Yeah. Yeah. Like the first one to, just ideas.
That'd be
Just
the
ideas.
perfect vehicle too, because you can get one of those at 800 horse.
Exactly. And it's wicked, and it sounds cool, but my God, there's gonna be some carnage.
Yeah, we've had people ask us more questions about 6.4s and whatnot, and like why the stigma? It's like, guys, you can literally tune in 350 extra horsepower without changing anything.
Nothing.
It's wild, and then it's gonna blow up.
Yeah.
It's gonna blow up really big.
See, people like carnage. People like make an event around that.
You talk about the 6.4, I just did a review on our website to see what the most search pages were. Do it every few months. For whatever reason, the last 3 months it's been 6.4.
Really?
Cummins didn't even hit the top 20, which is like the weirdest thing, and it's never that way. But something must have happened in the last few months where 6.4s, like everyone
Price went down.
Yeah.
They listened to our podcast about the
Yeah,
6.4s
yeah.
and the price drop. So everybody's buying them. I don't know.
Maybe everybody took their steamy checks and bought their 6.4s and they broke them and now they're starting to sell them.
Yeah.
Or trying to figure out how to fix them with no money.
Yeah.
I kind of feel bad for the 6.4 though, because like when they first came out, how cool, right? Freaking compounds or cartridge turbos, whatever they are. There's two of them.
Yeah.
Like badass.
Magic crystal injectors.
Magic crystal injectors. And you're telling me I can buy a tuner that's called Warhammer. I can just put it on and just run.
Yeah.
Gold. Where do I sign?
Yeah.
Like, but then they started going pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
They started popping.
That was like the LC7 when it came out too, though.
Yeah.
Remember that? Like PP had their tuner that I think he claimed like 550 horsepower with that.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they said, with the right modifications, injectors, turbos, and all that, but no one read that.
No,
they still
nobody
want the tuners. Like, I'm putting 550 extra horsepower. You're really doing like 120, but
It's enough to, yeah.
it was almost that time again. Because that's one of the bug bit me is when kind of the Duramax came out.
Yeah.
It's just you couldn't do that with vehicles at
Yeah.
that time. It was a tuner that wasn't on the Civic.
Right, right. Yeah.
Beep bop boop. Bing bong.
Bye.
Bye. So that brings us. So what kind of? What's your forte as far as diesel trucks go?
What do I know best? Like back of my hand, 7.3. I don't know. I
Yeah.
actually know the M57 BMW pretty well, decently well, because I got pretty deep into that.
Yeah.
I just sold mine, but I've had my 7.3 since 02 and it's an 01.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's been built so many different times, and in what I do for a living, what we do for a living, our vehicles kind of end up being, trying to come up with a good word that won't have to get bleeped out here.
Lady of the night.
There you go. Yeah.
Red light district.
Yeah, 7 or 8 different intakes and 7 or 8 different exhausts, and you're testing everything you can that they become a lady of the
Truck's a dang Roxanne.
Don't even know how to describe that anymore. But I understood that.
We got you. We got you.
So of the iterations that your truck's gone through, is there one that was your absolute favorite, and is it the one it's at now, or did you build it one time and it made you super happy, then you changed it and then just effed it all up?
So when it ran great, I liked the last iteration. It was 626 force at the wheels on nitrous, fire ringed, as does 300, 200 injectors. Loved it when it ran great, but when it popped, I really liked the 300 horsepower.
So with 300, 200s, what were you running for oil and turbo?
Just an adrenaline H-pop, actually.
Oh, wow.
Which surprised a lot of people, but it wasn't enough to get me to 626, I think is what it actually hit.
Mhm.
That's damn respectable for a 7.3.
Yeah.
And I still daily drove it. But without nitrous, it was 520, 530, something like that.
Yeah.
Which was, on the street, that was perfect. The Screamer Turbo that was on Indeed, Screamer Turbo was, perfect at that. It spooled up quick, and when I lived in SoCal, it didn't, controlling smoke was great with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great setup. Swamped injectors, a little bit harder to tune because the real, the bigger nozzle size you go with, the harder it is to get it running right. And then the transmission was built more for drag racing, so slam shifted real hard. So trying to get, dial that back in your tone and not
Yeah.
spit input shafts out the back, which is what I ended up doing anyway. I don't know. I think that's with anyone. You end up taking your build and eventually going just a little too far with it.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's kind of where I went with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it actually just popped. I think kind of for good a few months ago.
And it popped with perfect timing too in your life.
Oh yeah. I got a kid coming in 1 to 2 days, depending on how quickly he decides to show up.
It's a great time for a truck to blow up.
Right.
I was able to guess Ben's childbirth within 45 minutes?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It was,
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
Am I psychic? I don't know. Yeah.
Do I have powers? I don't know.
I don't know.
So we're supposed to go in Thursday night for the induction. Can you just guess that it's gonna happen before midnight on Thursday? Because that would save me so much money.
Well, no, sorry.
We'll get it in 4 days.
You know, when you said you're 7'3" guy, you know, I did a. But I've been thinking about my 7'3" guys. I actually, no, nobody get too excited. Okay. I've got to kind of give you guys props. Because I'm like a Cummins guy through and through. But here's the thing. Like, Cummins guys, like, we're kind of simple people. You know what I mean? Like, there's not much, I mean, it's Cummins.
Pretty one-dimensional as far as humans go.
But you guys have to know so much more. Like, it's insane. Like, he starts talking about 7'3" stuff, and I'm just like, that wall isn't straight. That's not round.
It's a total hard injections that throws everyone off.
Yeah.
Listen, I understand him, I get him, but it's just, but I'm trying to give you a compliment.
Well, I really
I have
back
respect
to-
for 7'3" guys.
We were talking about swapping in 5.9s into stuff, and I was like, well, I wouldn't mind a BB44 engine or something like that. And you were just giving me the business, like, why the hell would you do that?
It's the worst one.
There's so many more. You have why not just go mechanical? I'm like, you gotta remember, if I'm coming from a 7.3 to this, does it have fuel? Yes or no? We figured out the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give it fuel, it'll run. I'm used to 2 other high pressure systems.
Yeah, right.
I think 7.3 people just want, like, you get so addicted to that noise. Even though it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
That engine sounds so awesome.
What do you mean like this?
Oh, yeah, Cummins guys. It sounds so much worse than the 7.3.
Well, it's like a smooth rattle.
Yeah.
You know?
Rattles like a box of rocks.
When a 7.3 fires up, it sounds like the pistons are actually hitting the valves.
I guess I'm just used to it.
Yeah.
My blue truck, yes. The Excursion, no. The Excursion fires up and instantly runs smooth, but that may be because of the split shots in there, but the looseness on the internals of my blue truck definitely.
Show themselves.
Yeah, she's built for boost and nitrous.
Yeah.
Get rid of those split shots, you'll hear your neighbors yelling at you instead of the engine.
Oh, I'm sure.
I'm sure they love them already.
Especially when it comes time for me to kind of like shuffle trucks around. It's like, because I haven't started the blue truck in like a month or so or something like that. Smokes out the entire freaking neighborhood. And I'm like, I'm sorry guys. Like, because what I'll do is, since I live on a hill, like I'll instantly start the 7.3 and get it started. I'll idle down the hill because we have kind of a field next to our house. I'll go next to the field and just kind of like let it warm up for a little bit. Because it will literally, I mean, it's not a healthy amount of smoke. It's an excessive amount of smoke. You definitely got to get the engine, run some heat through it, and then it doesn't smoke.
I think we've all got our spots.
Yeah.
Where I've had those where you drive down the street and I know I'm not going to piss anyone off if I sit here for 45 minutes and wait for the needle to just barely move.
Yeah. It doesn't help that they're cold-blooded.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say that blue truck. I don't know why it shouldn't start, but it does. It's got a battery clamp held on by a C clamp and mismatched old batteries, and they're beat to shit. But for some reason, it always starts. Cranks over slow as it.
I will say though, the truck runs pretty damn good for what it is. Like she gets down for what it is.
She parties.
Yeah.
Again, it makes me happy every time I can't wait to put a clutch in it. But yeah, every time I just party mode that thing. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Every diesel person I've taken in that thing is always like,
Wow, I'm surprised.
this thing. Well, mostly because they're all used to just like a tuned 7.3. And I'm not saying I have like a super high horsepower truck. It's not. It's literally a non-intercooled 7.3 with big freaking injectors in it.
Yeah.
Well, I can't say that. They're not huge. Like 190cc single shots with like a 40% nozzle.
What about 220 at the wheels?
A really hard 220 comes on like 2 RPM off idle.
It's there.
With the smoke to prove it. Yeah. But yeah, on it's got Lenny's injectors in there, but it's definitely not intercooled. Clutch slips. It's got 410s on 35s with a ZF5 in it. It's over geared to shit.
How long ago did you put the injectors in?
a year ago. Year and a half ago.
So those might have been days. He had a Dave Miller, he had a guy that worked at DieselWorld for him as well. He had a guy that worked there in the past, a little more than a year ago. And I had a set that he built too, and it's kind of one of those, he's really good at it. And, I mean, the other guys are too, but it's kind of one of those, I don't ever want to get rid of my injectors.
Yeah, he
Well, his are custom. We had
Yeah.
we had Lenny do some custom engraving.
Oh, I've seen this. Yeah. I was there for this, I remember that. I don't think we can talk about it engraved on it, can we?
No, we've already talked about it.
Yeah. It's got some other stuff. It's got one of those cheap, my favorite cheap dildo.
Me.
Yeah, that's Tyler.
That was me.
I will never sell those injectors in a truck or something like that, but if it ever came down to it and they ended up, going buyback or something like that, I would pay money to see the look on someone's face when they pull them out. They look at them.
This
And they're like-
cheap dildo.
They pull one out, it's like dinosaur, like party truck, like, oh, that's cool. They pull, chief dildo. Diane, we gotta sell a truck. This thing's got bad mojo. I don't know what's going on here, but this truck's gotta go.
Yeah. Well, there's a Cameron messaged me and he's like, dude, what should we put on here? And I'm like, give me like 5 minutes. Because I'm like the kind of person who doesn't think of things like immediately. Like I need time. And so I'm like, 5 minutes later, I'm like, put dildo on one. And then they added cheap, and I was like, amazing! You just took it to the next level.
It's not like a 30-second process to put that in
I think you had to do 8 of them.
Yeah.
And they're all different. Here's like party truck, dinosaur, old blue, of course, chief dildo. That's only 4. There's 4 more that are good that I can't remember.
Oh, that was great. That was great.
So they put 8 different things on.
Yeah.
One on
Each
each injector.
each injector had a different
They
engraving.
spent like an hour.
I was
So much
reduced to
better.
like happy tears when I got them back.
Oh, yeah.
We did a video of like unboxing them and all that shit, but I was just like, oh my god. I almost couldn't say what. I was like, I can't tell everybody what cheap dildo is. Yeah, it's too good. I can't not say it now.
But, I said it kind of like, just like put the dildo on it. And he's like, okay. I was like, oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
let me see. Let me see. Yes.
That's because if you've never seen 7.3 injectors, we affectionately call them donkey dicks.
Yeah.
Because they're huge.
That's you.
I get-
I've never heard that before. That's all you.
I gave Ben a life-size cutout of an actual size cutout of an injector that's in his office. Cardboard. And then he actually complimented me on that.
It's
Cardboard
accurate
cutout.
as shit.
I know.
You got everything in there.
I know.
It was really good.
I know.
Yeah, the first time I picked up a box of 7.3 injectors, I was like, it was in the old building too. And I think you even commented. I was like, man, is there like 2 sets of injectors?
No, that's one.
That's one set. No way.
That one box that's 8 by 10. Yeah, that's one.
Yeah, 8 by 10, like 28 pounds. Yeah, that's one set of injectors. And at that point, I knew what they looked like, but I'd never seen them before. And I took one out. I was like, oh my god, these things are huge.
Yeah.
No joking around. It's so damn noisy.
What's the max pressure on it? Like, is it 23,000? No. 21,000 PSI? So it's not like they're
Oil?
putting out, well, no, excuse me. Fuel, by the time it gets amplified, because I think it's 4,000 PSI oil that goes in, and then it gets multiplied by 7 with the intensifier piston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your injection pressure. I mean, if your pump is running, we did the equations when we were talking about hybrids and standard injectors for the Huey episode, and I think we figured out that injection pressure with because your injection pressure technically goes down with the hybrid because the intensifier piston, the ratio goes down as well. You can get more in there with less oil, but the pressure does decrease a little bit. It goes from like 5 to 1 from 7 to 1 to 5 to 1.
Okay.
But when you have a 7 to 1, you're seeing a max injection pressure. I think it was like 23,000 or something like that. Which is, it's not bad for a dinosaur truck like that. But when you start thinking about, injection or like rail pressure on these newer Cummins trucks are like 28,000, 30,000.
Yeah.
Shit.
And that's where I was going. If you have that monstrous steel body
Yeah.
that's rated for that, and then you go to a Bosch, and now the new ones, I mean, the new, 2019 and up Cummins, I don't know if I should even, if I'm allowed to say this, but learned that it looks like they're going to be going for much more than 32, 34, 36,000 PSI. They've made those bodies so much stronger, which makes perfect sense for our
Yeah.
missions, that we're going to continue to go higher and higher
Yeah.
and higher.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Higher pressure, better atomization, cleaner burn, better power.
Yeah.
That's straight up. And we can actually transition a little bit if you want to talk about emissions for a little bit. Yeah.
Well, this once, remember?
Well, the emission stuff, and because that's always like a hot topic, and I always see it come back around every now and then. I do think that for the most part, a lot of the industry, actually the industry's been forced to, but a lot of the consumers are at least starting to get the grip of it.
Yeah.
I will say the calls that I get, people are much more open to when we talk about like, well, my mechanic just says I have to delete it. Well, have you figured out why your filters are plugging up all the time? Well, yeah, they're filters, they plug up. Exactly, they're filters, they plug up. Why?
Yeah.
Well, it just got deleted. Okay, well, if your furnace filter plugged up every 2 days, would you just keep changing the filter and get rid of it, or figure out why?
Right.
Oh, yeah, okay, well, figure it out.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, but they seem, I legitimately, before we were trying to explain, I would get cussed out. You'd be like, fuck you, man, garbage. Oh my gosh.
Well, you have to answer those questions so interesting too, because we're all smart enough to know what it was years before, but we can't do that anymore. So when you're in sales, having to answer those questions, like, I know where you're coming from, but no, you can't do this anymore. You don't need to do it anymore. The newer vehicles, I've said this since like gassers back in the 70s or even the 80s.
Exactly. Every time, that's the anecdote we use every time. It's like you have the gas crisis come through and power went down. I don't mean to steamroll.
No, you're good.
It gets me all freaking hot and heavy because when everybody gets all pissed off about the emissions and they're robbing power, they're just like, you realize the power's never gone down. You've never, like, every year a diesel comes out, they've never just gone down in power. Even when the emission systems came on, they never went down in power. And so when you look at that compared to all the smog dog cars that came out, all these Mustangs, that were previously making 300-400 horsepower, something like that, and now they're making 150. Or all these other cars just not making the same amount of power. And it took them a while to come back. You start getting into the 90s and the early 2000s, all of a sudden now we've got 700 horsepower production vehicles. You can buy it off the lot, drive it, off you go. The diesel truck industry, once the emissions came out, went through that 20-year process. We're already through it.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it never even plateaued.
This has been the only truck that I've ever owned where I've been pleasantly surprised and happy with the power. I've got the 21 Ram,
Nice.
2500, and I'm okay. I want to do some things to it, but at the same time, I'm like, man, this thing pulls pretty good.
What is the one we got too? Was it 410 or something like that?
I think 385.
Is it 385? Okay.
Yeah.
At 385, and that's another thing people don't really realize. A 400 horsepower truck is going to tow anything you want up any grade, and you can pass any semi, anything.
Yeah.
Like people think, oh, I need 800 horse. Yeah, 800 horse is fun, but when are you really going to use it?
Exactly.
400 horse generally doesn't break stuff.
Well, that's what we've told customers here for years, the perfect truck to do everything and still have fun with is like that 500 horse. Like anything over that, you start running into problems. The 400 to 500 horsepower range is that's perfect. You can still go out and have fun. 'Cause here's the thing too, when I was a kid, messing with these trucks, none of us were over 400 horsepower.
No.
It sure felt like we were.
Yeah. Well, then you have that conversation.
We told everyone we were.
Well, then you ask them, what makes you want a 700 horsepower truck? Well, have you ever ridden a 700 horsepower truck?
Yeah.
No. Have you ever owned one? No. Have you driven one? No. What truck are you basing this off of?
Right.
Well, my buddy's got a 6.0 with a tuner on it. Cool. He's making 475 tops.
Yeah.
Tops. That's
Yeah.
on a good day. Really? Yeah. It feels like 800. Yeah. Well,
Torque,
here's the thing
baby.
though. It's torque.
That's
He's
what you
making
feel.
damn near 1,000 foot-pounds of torque.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. So how about this? How about we get you 450, 550, somewhere in there that you can absolutely beat the tar out of it and make, even if you're a Cummins truck making 1,400 foot-pounds, you're going to think you have a rocket ship.
Yeah.
You're going to be absolutely blown. Your mind's going to be blown. You're going to be thinking you have a NASCAR.
Yeah. It just go back to that, when I was a kid thinking that, we have all this horsepower, but we, honestly didn't actually know. Then when you finally go to dyno, you're so disappointed.
Yeah.
You're just oh, what? Really? Oh,
It
sucks.
Yeah.
I'm a loser.
Yeah.
It was the first dyno I put my 7.3 on, and at that time it was still, 7.3 was still somewhat new.
Yeah.
310 horsepower.
Yeah. You're just like,
Oh.
just like,
$3,000 worth of parts. You know, at that time,
Yeah.
$3,000 was a lot.
Yeah, well, but even then, like, I relate that back to that time frame is almost exactly when I first really kind of like had that aha moment with diesel trucks. And I was living in Sacramento still. I had just graduated high school. I bought had my 01 Ranger, and we were cruising up and down Sunrise, just like everybody does in Sacramento, back and forth. And there was a Super Duty, and it would have been 04, so the chances it could have been a 6.0. More than likely, it was a 7.3. And I remember thinking I was hot shit in my 4-liter Ranger, single rear cam. You know, at that point it was the fastest truck I'd owned. You know, and it was honestly, it got down. It had 410s in it with only like 31s. Like it did the job.
98, same engine.
Yeah. Yeah, you had the over valve on the over cam.
That's right, I did, yeah.
The only reason I mentioned that is because I have a couple of friends back home that had over a valve was, and they were like, I don't know what it is. Yours is faster. I'm like, it's over cam, dude. It's gonna blow up. I've spit out like 5 spark plugs. But
The Explorer motor, I think your engine was available on Explorer for my year, but they never put it in the Ranger because you're right. I always wanted to swap it in
yeah,
for the 20 horsepower.
get more RPM out of it and whatever. And I remember I laid into it, and this big. At that point in my mind, it probably was on 35s, but in my mind it was on like
40s.
40s. This huge freaking truck. Just smashing by. I'm like, what? Nothing that big should be that fast. Like, what did I just do? What did I just do? I just spent this money on a damn Ranger.
Yeah.
This guy's living my dream. Ugh. And looking back, he probably was making about 300 horsepower, but he was making like 600 foot-pounds of torque,
Yeah.
which gets a truck moving.
Yeah.
But yeah,
We still scare people. Like I remember putting my parents, of all people, like in the car, picking them up from the airport or something, in my truck, get on the highway and just watch them. What are you doing? What are you doing? You're gonna kill us. It's only 310 horse, but
yeah.
a 7,900 pound truck should not move like those things move, and no one expects it. Which, I mean, that's how we all.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's how we all got the bug.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Couldn't have said it better myself.
My favorite vehicle to do that is the Excursion, especially when they're not like super done up from the outside.
Yeah.
When I still had the stock wheels and tires on the first Excursion, but it had all the tuning and the 38R and everything like that. That was the funnest shit ever. It looked like a total grandpa Excursion.
Yeah.
And you lay into it, and granted, yeah, it was like 300 horsepower, but it like everybody that was around it was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
why, how?
Right.
And of course, you got the 30-yard wine in there. It's a good time.
Yeah.
It's that thing.
Yeah.
We built 04 because it was the old. No, I take it back. It was 05. So I had the new grill Excursion in DieselWorld probably 5 years ago now. I can't even remember the size injectors, but we put one of Charlie Fish's CH2 KC turbos on it and maxed that thing out. So it was probably 620. I don't remember. We didn't dyno it. But kept the outside completely stock. It did not touch anything. It was this 600 horsepower grocery getter with kid seats in the back. And no one had a clue. It was the most fun to just go long distances with because you scare the crap out of people.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
Even with, so when I, got into the diesel thing, I had a second gen. I had 2001. I got it up to about 630 horsepower after I was done with it. But, dude, I remember just like Division was like our spot, right? And we would just go up and down Division, just trying to find like the little race cars just to race and just to see the look on people's faces when you see I had 35s on it. It had like just a leveling kit, but it was I think clean looking. It was like I think it was the Atlantic blue Sport, so it had the nice. It put leather seats in it. It had a nice sound system. It had a little nitrous bottle in the back. Which eventually was the downfall for that truck after I sold it. But just to see the look on people's faces when you just wax a car that's that's supposed to beat this truck, like it's a full size truck, like this shouldn't be happening, and it just get you going, just get you going.
The Twister Remember when Twister the movie came out?
Yes.
Second gen was my
Yeah.
favorite.
Oh my
truck
God.
The
Yeah.
red, extended cab, long bed.
And he sent it into the tornado, and all of us were sitting there going,
Yeah, seriously. I forgot about that truck. That's like the because the Toyota for Back to the Future, that was like the 80s, that was the truck, right? Like that was, everybody wanted that truck. And then like, because that Twister was in the 90s, right? I'm getting my dates right, Jim?
Ooh, I think Twister was like, it was either late 90s or early 2000s, like 01, 02, something like that.
Well, yeah, it had to because of the truck.
Yeah.
well, it was
94,
It was right when
at
it came
least.
out, so there you go.
Yeah, 90s, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the truck, yeah. That was
Really? That movie came out in 94?
Well, it had to have. That's a second gen body style.
Phone out. There's no way that I don't see that movie being.
They
that
can't.
old.
Back to the Future wasn't real. They couldn't time travel. You get a second gen in the 80s.
I feel like
I think Twister is newer than 94.
I was saying it had to have at least been 94.
Yes, I agree.
The movie
Fully
in the
agree,
90s.
yes.
Yeah.
I concur. Time travel is unfortunately we're not there yet. Unless we are, nobody's telling us. My tinfoil hat.
If there was time travel, wouldn't we already know it though?
Unless we didn't. There's a theory that
Should we go down that road?
there's a theory that as far as time travel goes, it has been invented, but since the Earth is moving around so fast in either direction, that
You haven't read up yet.
that if they time travel and they skip back even just a certain amount of seconds, they may have made it, but they were so far back in space, like in outer space, they died. Like they've perfected time travel, but not the physical part of moving the particles where they need to go. So
Wow.
they time traveled, but the Earth moved from where they were. So they came back where they were. The Earth isn't there anymore. Gone, disintegrated.
So they need to like integrate Google Maps or something.
Basically, so they
Sounds
either
like
end
calibration.
they either end up in space or like the inside of they either end up behind the Earth or in front of it. In which case they end up in the Earth's core. Wow.
Feels like this. Like they turn the dial just a little bit. To the
Yeah.
left.
That's one theory.
That's one theory.
That they have figured it out, just no one's actually made it back enough to like. They're still in the trial phase. Let me see here. Twister.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Whenever
96.
96.
Yeah.
Yes. 90s. Okay, I
Yeah.
wasn't lying.
My favorite thing out of that movie when I saw it were two things. Soundtrack. I had the soundtrack.
You bought the soundtrack?
Sure did. And the yellow J10 in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Was it the Honcho was? Like they're driving in that little culvert.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to get Dorothy up there. Dorothy 1, I guess at that point. It would have been Dorothy 2 when they had it in the Ram.
Yeah.
I unfortunately know way too much about this movie.
Oh, we can do lines from that movie. Like, cow.
Yeah.
Cow. I think that was the same one.
I go when they get in the truck and she's like, "New truck, Jim." I forgot what Bill Paxton's name is in the movie, but it's like, "New truck, Jim." Nice, yeah, we got the insurance. He's like trying to get back over the telephone pole.
Liability only.
Yeah. I still remember them cutting up the product placement.
Oh, yeah.
All the Pepsi cans.
And
To
make
make
it
the propellers.
thingies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's working, yeah.
Where did they put the shell too? Remember they took the shell off at one point? Did they just throw that like $3,000 shell to the side of the road?
Yeah, they did, yes. Yeah, they like slid on the road. I remember that.
It's like, man, that was a nice cap.
Yeah.
Nice little detour from Diesel.
Yeah. Well, we
Welcome
get
to our
on,
podcast.
we get on tangents. Somehow we always turn it around. Has there actually been a movie that was like a well-watched movie that has a diesel truck in it?
Like a known diesel truck?
Yeah. I don't think there has been.
There's,
I mean,
the
there's,
Death Race ones had a few, but
there's the, was that Walking Tall with The Rock? He has that green single cab OBS, but
Not diesel.
I don't think it was a diesel though.
No.
I don't think there's been like a known like, this is my diesel truck
Yeah.
in the movie. You know what I mean?
I feel like Mad Max should have had some in there.
I'm sure it did, but did they actually come back and say this is Diesel?
Well, I mean, they could have took advantage of the smoke.
But smoke's not cool.
Well,
Tyler.
What are you doing over there?
on that movie, it would have been cool. Killing's not cool either. But they killed in that movie.
There was a post-apocalyptic world where they're huffing snow or spray paint.
Yeah. Like, that's not cool.
Yeah.
What was the phrase? Tribute or something?
I don't know if I've ever seen that movie. I don't think I ever watched that movie.
They spray their face silver.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
You know, we'll be fact checking, probably roasted in the comments. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Jim.
Yeah. So we're going to transition a little bit here because we do have a lot of. I've talked about being a dad and having kids and whatnot. So you're about to be a dad. First one.
First one. Yeah, boy. So I'm going to go in tomorrow night for the induction.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, they just decided it was better to know exactly when we're going in. It's a day from the actual due date. But
Yeah, it's a full term. Everything's okay.
yeah, very much so full term. But yeah, first one, boy. Robert Abel or Robert Lucas, not really sure.
Hey, Lucas. I like Lucas. That's my last name.
It's a family name for me. So my first name's Robert. I go by Adam, my dad, my grandpa, my great grandpa.
Gotcha, yeah.
Everyone had different middle names, so we're gonna stick to that for the first
Yeah.
one. But yeah, I don't know. Ask me in a couple weeks how I feel. I'm not. I thought I'd get a lot more nervous. I'm really not.
So there's
I'd be freaking nervous after having a conversation with Ben. My God.
So we've gotten a fairly we've talked about like C-sections. And
Yeah,
whatnot
no.
on here
Ben went a
and
little
all
too
that
graphic
stuff.
on some things, and I was just like,
But there is. I am one of those people that unfortunately just has an anecdote for everything because I read a lot and I, for some reason, I can't remember like my lock code to get in my phone, but I remember an anecdote I read in a book like 10 years ago. Stupid skill. But there's, from what I read, and I would say it's fairly true, women become mothers when they find out they're pregnant, and fathers become fathers or a parent once like the baby's born. So there is definitely the. I was not nervous before either. I don't think I was nervous at any point. I take that back. I was nervous when they wheeled her out and they were going to have a baby in 90 seconds or that kind of shit. That was a little weird, but yeah. I'm not trying to like sound high and mighty and stuff like that, but it's fun. It like I'm super stoked for you to be able to like do that with you.
Thank you.
That's and as far as like the names and stuff too, we do that. We kind of do some. We have middle names that we passed out in our family.
Okay.
So like my son got my middle name, which is my grandfather's middle name, and then my daughter has my grandmother's first name as her middle name.
Nice.
That's not a tradition, but I wouldn't mind if it started that way. But, yeah, and then my son is named after my father-in-law, and then my daughter, her name's Olivia, just because it's a good name.
I like that name.
True. Want story time?
Let's do it.
So,
Do we get popcorn?
maybe. So Olivia was the reason I'm like cool with the name Olivia. And Olivia, the first girl I ever met that was hot and also a nice person.
Wait, did your wife?
I've told her.
Oh, okay.
This is before I met my wife, obviously. But the first girl, because like, for a long time in my life, when you're growing up and whatnot, you used to kind of, at least I did, you always associate hot chicks, bitches. Like they're mean. They're not nice. They're not nice people. I don't know what it was. I never associated like.
That's high school. That's how high school works.
Yeah, like offensively hot chicks equal mean. Straight up.
fair enough.
And so like get out of high school for a little bit and then date around and I figured I had this like echelon of girl that I was gonna be able to get. Okay, I was comfortable with that. That's fine, whatever. And then started talking to this girl named Olivia. And she was nice. She was really hot. I was like, wow, holy shit. Nice girls can be hot. And I can pull hot chicks. I'm gonna do that. And that was my Olivia's are tight. They're cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one.
My wife's still
What did I
really
say?
mean.
She what?
So my wife's still really mean. I'm just joking. I love you. It was a joke.
All right.
Not the love part, but the joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get it.
Let's be clear with that.
All right, so we do have to bring us back around trucks because unfortunately, fortunately is a truck
Fortunately.
podcast.
Yeah.
Crap. So with the 7.3 the way it is now, where do you see the next iteration if there is one of it?
I kind of want, so what it becomes depends on what happens when I tear it down. So it's fire ringed, and it's spitting coolant out the tailpipe is the issue. So I know that it's sat for 6 months with coolant in it, like an idiot. I wasn't even thinking I should have known this, that there's coolant mixed in with the oil. And I'm starting it up every few months to cycle oil through the injectors to keep those new injectors alive. No, I'm cycling coolant a lot. I didn't, for whatever reason, I didn't think about it until 2 weeks ago. So it depends on what's going on with it. If I have to pull the whole motor and do something to the block, it's getting cam, it's getting everything, you know. If I can just get by with throwing heads on it and getting it running again, honestly, I'll probably sell the truck that I've had for the last, 19 years and get a standard cab or something. I kind of want a race truck.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, and standard cabs are race trucks.
Yeah. Every single one of them.
Every single one of them. Not all race trucks are single cabs, but all single cabs are race trucks.
Yeah.
Fact. Fight me.
Yeah.
Fact. But the truck's a single cab.
Race truck.
After you break a few things on a crew cab, four-wheel drive truck, getting a standard cab just makes sense because I know everyone knows this, but they may not think of it. The weight is what's breaking those things.
Yeah.
And you go standard cab, it's so much lighter. You're not going to break it. A, it's going to be quicker, but B, you're just not going to break stuff. You can put more passes down the track with a lighter vehicle and not be. I mean, the first transmission of mine was probably $10,000. It's got to stop training. I'm going to spend $10,000 on another one. You know, the other with the standard cab, maybe you get double the passes out of it.
Yeah.
Well, and
The comments, I'm sure, are going to tell me I'm off on that number, but.
well, it's the factory weight reduction program. Less doors, less horse.
Sorry,
Less
Kyle.
weight. Yeah. Well, what would be the single cab?
Single life?
Yeah.
Isn't that what the actual one is?
Single
Yeah,
cab,
that's like
single
the
life.
actual one. Yeah.
Yeah. Or you could. I love Cooper's story about his single cab Milner with Ash had.
Oh yeah.
So Cooper has 3 kids, and he bought the single cab that he took on Ultimate Adventure, and then but didn't tell his wife.
That's what he still takes them out all the time, right?
No, the single cab short bed is a company truck. The single cab long bed that he took on Ultimate Adventure 14.
I think yeah.
It was 14. It was on like the Troubadours, and then one of our guys here, Ash, had it for a while too.
Oh, I remember the one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not the Mogineer.
Milner,
Milner.
Thor's hammer.
Okay.
Yeah. Cooper does all his trucks. They're all hammers.
Okay.
Makes sense, right? Cooper,
Well,
hammer.
Smash.
Cooper Smash. Cooper
Yeah.
Smash.
But I'll never forget like the way he tells those stories. Like, like Kelly didn't know what truck I was buying, but she knew I was getting a truck and stuff like that. He's got 3 kids. Okay, 3 kids. Pulls up in a brand new single cab.
I remember when he pulled up in that truck and he went off in the field. It was like trying to wheel this. I was like, "What is? That's Cooper. What is he doing? Is that his? He bought that? Oh,
Yeah.
Pulling up the high school pickup.
A 6-speed single cab long bed truck, and then he proceeded to take out the middle seat to put a lockbox in it. So this guy's got 3 kids.
It's a coupe. It's a coupe.
With 1 extra seat.
Sports coupe.
He's like, the way he, like, I have to have him describe it on his podcast or something like that, but he's like, the way, like, when I pulled up to my house and my wife could see what I pulled up in through the window, she was standing at the sink, I could hear her voice. She didn't have to say anything, I could hear it. I could feel it in her eyes. She was stabbing me in the face. Cooper, you have 3 kids, and you just came home. Fucking single cab.
Came home with a Corvette face. It's the same difference.
Yeah. Seriously.
What were you thinking? Like, okay, yeah, it's single cab, it's tight.
Yeah.
6 shifts, tight, man. It's cool, man. Hey, it's tight. We're gonna, it's cool.
Be cool. Yeah.
Don't worry. Hey,
37s, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Or 40s, yeah. Why not?
I know it's got 3 seats. Don't worry, I'm taking the middle seat out. It's fine. It's fine. Don't worry, it's fine. It's fine. Sit on top. Yeah.
It's got a long bed.
It's a manual.
He should have just got like a bunch of those Subaru Brat seats and just
Yeah.
stacked them.
For the cage in the bed.
Yeah.
We're just a ladder rack, actually. That works, right?
Yeah. Canopy. That's what I wrote into my dad's truck. You throw a canopy on it and just sit back there. Put your back up against the cab.
Yeah.
Ah!
That truck, oh, there's a guy actually by me that owns it now.
Yeah. Brian, or no, I think he may have, there's a guy named Brian that bought it. I think we did see it recently for sale.
Okay.
Yeah.
Within the last like
For a couple
year.
years.
But yeah, there was a guy in like Post Falls, Coeur d'Alene area that owned it.
He came in the Dynamite when I was there. I remember looking at him. Cooper's old truck.
Yeah, I heard that truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I think he ended up dynoing it 104 horsepower. I think because I know when Ashley owned it, it was 624, but it was still running stock injection pump on it and stock injectors. He did a larger injection pump and some different tuning on there, and I think he was able to get it to the I want to say 7s.
I don't
It had air. It had air for like 9. It had 369 on it.
Yeah.
That was a party truck.
That was,
It was a straight party truck.
What was it geared at? I mean,
So,
super high.
37s and 373s, but it was a G56.
Okay.
So he was under geared for sure, but having that large of a turbo, once you got on the turbo, it was like nitrous.
Yeah.
Like it was real boggy down low, obviously, but it was built to be what it was. It was a party truck,
Right.
and with stock injectors, even with aggressive tuning, fairly boggy. But once that thing lit up, it was go type baby.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
You know an old truck I just saw like yesterday?
Huh.
The Raptor Super Duty, the blue one.
The blue one?
Yeah.
I always love that truck. It's one of my favorite trucks.
Yeah. That's why I started working here. Like I saw that truck on Facebook, and I started following Diesel Power Products on Facebook, and then that's where I found out they were looking for a sales guy, and then I moved up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that truck, but I like Clifford a little bit better.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just because I drove that truck more, Clifford more.
Which one was Clifford?
The 2016, 6.7
Seven.
power strip? 17.
The
power
17.
strip. Red.
The red.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fire engine red one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a red guy. Like, I will never buy a red truck, but I would take that truck.
Yeah, that's the one we took to UCC in 18.
It's the one we blew up at Moses Lake.
Yeah.
Not blew the
Sheared axles off.
yeah.
That's like
the caps on the
Oh,
the
you're
rear.
one of the Pacific Northwest Polars
Yeah.
out there.
Went
Okay.
we're obviously friends with DJ from DJ Diesel. We got to Moses Lake usually in October, and we brought the 5-ton out there as well.
Yeah.
And sled pulled the 5-ton when we had it, and then Tyler got to sled pull the red truck, and was absolutely killing it.
I was killing
And
it.
then
I was doing good.
Yeah, you just hear, "Pum, pum, pum."
And then anytime something blows up, you're just like, think of the worst. Like, I'm
Yeah.
thinking like, oh wow, this tranny's jacked. Like, because it won't move. Oh, well, it did move. It moved because it was in 4-wheel drive.
Yeah.
But then I put it in 2-wheel drive, and I'm like, this thing's not moving. I'm like, oh, transfer case. What's going on? Well, it comes down to it. It was literally the caps sheared off right at the axle.
Yeah.
So it was just not. It was spinning, but nothing was getting to the tires.
Well, in that dirt, Grand County Fairgrounds, where that's at, I've seen that place get packed down to where it's essentially asphalt.
Man, we were
Yeah.
running 15.5 wides on 20s.
40s,
Yeah,
yeah.
on 40s, yeah. And
But the worst part was I was freaking just
You were
bragging.
frustrated, yeah.
I was bragging in the beginning. I was like, what's done to that? I'm like, everything. Like, I got Dynatrack axles. Like, I'm good. Like, the full pull up. Watch this, boys.
yeah, it had a duty 80 in the back, and it was where we found there was we're sort of not supposed to talk about it, but there was an oopsie in the axles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely not Dynatrack's fault.
Yeah, I was under that truck for some reason, just started pulling parts up, just making a move. I was like, I don't know what's wrong. What is taking the driveline off?
And of course, having two dudes like me and you there, fully capable of diagnosing it properly, but we're freaking out, and we're like,
Pretty confident in that comment right there.
yeah, but then we're freaking out.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And like we're texting Cooper, and I felt so bad for him, but
Yeah. We just broke our ride home.
yeah, we were supposed to drive that home, and Cooper was on his way to drive all the way back for like the last part of the event and hang out and all that stuff. He was apparently about 10 miles away from the exit of Moses Lake. And we let him know like, hey, the F-bomb truck broke.
So he had
So
to
he turn around, drive all the way back, grab the trailer, and drive all the way back to Moses Lake.
And by that time, we proceeded to drink.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Quite a bit.
like Dad's gonna be here.
Well,
Yeah.
I want to be to the point where I don't feel this beating, so how much alcohol's here?
But hopefully he came back here for the trailer and not back to his house, because that adds another hour and a half.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was here.
That's right,
Yeah, it was here.
Yeah, but
But then on the way back.
So it was late at night, and we had the F-off truck on the back of the trailer with sledge, which is Cooper's. That was the gray 4-door short bed that he had, which was. I go back and forth on that truck. I feel like that truck had a little bit of bad mojo, but at the same time, the truck could actually just beat the tar, and it did a lot of work.
Yeah.
We got a speeding ticket on it.
We were freaking railing.
We were freight trained down the road. I was sitting behind Cooper, I could see the inside on the pillar, and we were cruising. I couldn't see the speedometer, but it was flat ground basically, and the EGTs were at about 1550.
Yeah.
Held.
I'm sure it was 90 plus.
Held
Yeah.
at 1550. Held
With the Super Duty on the back on a trailer.
with the Super Duty on the back on a trailer, in a truck on 40.
Yeah, we were just trying to get back.
We were moving.
We were moving.
And we got pulled over.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk anymore about that.
So whoever bought it probably didn't want to hear that story, unless they've already popped the piston on it.
No, well, in
No, we
fact,
actually know who has it.
yeah, it makes even more power now because at that point I think Cooper was still running just
Oh, no,
a single on
yeah,
it.
his truck. Yeah.
But now it's compounded, and I think it even has a different transmission in it now.
But the same rotating assembly.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
You spent, what is it, 3 hours to load this with a trailer? Something like that?
Yeah, about 2.5. Yeah,
At
3,
1,500
yeah.
degrees the whole way there? Yeah.
It was. You ran good.
I mean, as long as you keep it moving,
Yeah.
it never actually gets that hot. It's air. It's only when you stop is the issue. Okay.
Well, that was fun. That was fun.
I just remember looking like, man, that's high. Oh, we must be going up grade. Look back, still.
There's not much of a grade until you get into Spokane.
It is flat as hell. It's got to be broken.
Yeah.
Wow. Nope, it's not. Okay.
Maybe our saving grace for it not having any other issues was us getting pulled over.
Yeah.
Let it cool down a little bit. And do it again.
Yeah.
It's a good run to do some speed though.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a lot of areas there where you can just see for 8-9 miles
Yeah.
ahead of you. I don't know the car anymore. I think it's going to be I did about 140 for about 5 or 6 minutes. My BMW on that run just to see what it was. Yes.
That's moving. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, 100's moving in a truck. Like that's getting up there.
140 and that BMW, BMW diesel, 2011 tuned exhaust, whatever. The steering wheel at 140 is just, it's light.
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's very light.
Those BMWs, those things can move out. I don't. Tyler Kipp at Industrial, he's got one that's.
Kip has pushed his, not as far as like Matt Sanger, but Kip has pushed his pretty far.
Yeah.
I saw his in September weekend on the edge. He had it up there.
And to be honest, I didn't really know about those cars. Like I never really. I don't really look into like German cars too much, but I just didn't know. And I started seeing them. I'm like, oh.
I almost don't want to talk about them.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone buying them.
Right.
Like, I wish I
Keep
had
them
mine.
Are they relatively like reliable? Is it like a?
No, it's BMW, of course.
Is there anything good you could say?
So they are reliable once you do a couple modifications to them. They're extremely reliable. Def tank freezes on you, so you got to find a way to fix that.
Okay.
Some carbon buildup in the engine. I mean, there's a couple little things, but I think mine, I probably put $5,000 into it and had done anything and everything you could ever, want. It would have lasted forever.
Yeah.
I can start going on the list, but mine was probably 380 at the wheels, 380 horse, and so what? Knocking on the door of, I don't even know, I didn't dyno it, but
Yeah.
probably 600 foot-pounds.
I was gonna say, yeah,
Something like that.
For a car.
Exactly, yeah.
Freaking
So
amazing.
we were just talking about that horsepower number for like a full-size 3/4 1-ton truck. Now take that, put it in a car.
Yeah.
At least 30, again, I don't know what it weighed, but I'm sure it was about 3,800 pounds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can get down with that.
Yeah.
I love that car. I got a buddy in town, we had for a little while, like our kind of cannonball run. I don't do it anymore, so someone's gonna get me in trouble for this. But we had kind of a cannonball run from here to Salt Lake.
Okay.
And it was, I say cannonball run, we worked on our own like record for it. So his record with a CTSV, a new Cadillac, was 9 hours to Salt Lake. And I think when we put it in the Google Maps, I think it says it's like 10 and a half or something like that. So he made it in 9 hours. I made it in, I think, 7.5.
Jesus.
Down there. But the BMW got 41 miles per gallon at 100 miles an hour. So that was the difference.
Yeah,
I
he had to stop. Yeah, he had to.
Yeah.
Thank you, Autobahn.
Shit, I get excited when I, cut 2 minutes off my drive home. Freaking 3 hours off of a 9 or 10-hour drive. Damn.
It was fun just watching the number just click down more and more.
Yes.
7.5 hours and you never get out of that seat was tough. But
Yeah.
Once I got down there and screenshot it and sent it to him, like, come out.
But That's cool.
It's that car. It's a fun car.
All right, so let's see. We're getting a little bit of hypotheticals here. All right, so Adam, being a 7.3 guy, what is the, if you were going to have a 7.3, what would you have?
So, as in like what year and what configuration?
Anything.
I mean, what I've always wanted was a short bed extra cab. So I have a short bed crew cab now. But I've always wanted a short bed extra cab. 550 horse, nothing really crazy, but just that tiny.
Super duty bike style?
Yeah.
Yeah, super duty bike style. Well, I mean, I always like the OBSs. I would love an OBS. If I was going to do that, seen Jesse James's OBS that he built, or some kid he built, a lot of it.
The black one?
Was it black or
The white one.
The white one.
Yeah, it was LS swap, I think. Wasn't
Yeah, it was LS swap. I always thought it would be cool to have that build, 3 plus 4 feet, whatever, of travel in the rear, a few feet of travel in the front, and fiberglass fenders around. This is again like SoCal, coming out.
No, I hear you. I'm with you on that one.
But with a 550 horse, it's at 30. Excuse me, I always thought that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
It's not practical.
No.
I'm just thinking like big, giant, heavy ass 7.3, 2 feet of travel in front.
You said 7.3, but I really would probably put it in with the Cummins. But if we're saying 7.3,
No, you could, we talk about mixing action trucks all the time.
I really want to put a Duramax in a Ford.
Ooh, just really change it
All
up.
right.
Just
Wow.
The Cummins guys would be like, I don't know if to be excited, mad.
Right, yeah.
And Ford guys would be
feel
like,
like-
you got to be kidding.
I feel like
And the
that's
GM guys
situation-
would be like, I like the body style.
Yeah.
You want to get some coffee?
I feel like at that point the Cummins guys are just like, the enemy of the enemy is
Yeah.
but I don't know what to do here. Like,
They just start like,
I worked at PPE for a while. This is
Okay,
performance
yeah.
engineering with Duramax guys. So I fell in love with those engines, built it, not built, I was a sales guy, but put the builds together and someone else built it.
yeah.
And just fell in love with that engine. I always want to put it in something, but I can't have independent. I don't like the independent front suspension on those GMs.
Yeah.
I will say they drive amazing. Nothing out there comes close to how those things drive. You can't do without a solid axle in dirt. I just don't want it.
They're amazing when you don't touch them.
Until they do this.
Yeah.
Well, that being said, so we'll peek onto the Duramax stuff here just because we always get a lot of people saying, like, you guys never talk about Duramaxes. No, we don't. We'll talk about them now for you. Here, you get 5 minutes. Sit down, shut up. Here it comes. What's your favorite iteration of a Duramax?
Element.
No?
Whoa.
I was like,
Was it?
Yeah! We got one! I don't know what it is. I love LMMs. I love the body style. I dig it.
Like LBZ is always, the sought after engine, to go for. The Element has that. It's been so many years since I worked for PP and built one of these things, so the comments again will probably thump this one. The LMM, if I remember correctly, has crank issues. It would break cranks and stuff. Like
600.
Yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
600 horsepower level and it's gone.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can do the alternate fire crank like Sands has on his LY.
Yeah, alternate fire cam.
Cam, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, the old LS.
Mhm.
Another thing that everyone thinks is, oh, you know, we came up with this new deal. No, it's the old LS firing order. It's nothing to it. It's still cool. It'll still save them, but
Yeah.
it's, I don't know, it wasn't Guy Tripp is going to hate me for saying this. It wasn't anything new. It was just new for the Duramax.
Right. Well, I mean, a lot of stuff is. I mean, when you think about like the diesel performance industry, it is, you know, compared to the gas industry, it's like 10 years right now.
Yeah.
It's been around. It's not brand new, but it's not, you know, it's not done yet.
Yeah.
We're not to the point where you can like literally just, there's a partner for everything. Everybody's done everything. There's still stuff that hasn't been done yet.
Yeah.
Albeit a lot of stuff has been done, but there's still new stuff. Still.
Well, for those of us who've been in, I mean, I'm 38. I feel like we're all probably pretty close to the same age.
Tyler.
31.
All right, well,
I can never get away from this. I get older every year. What's going on?
My first job at a truck shop was in 2001. When the Duramax came out, you know, when the 7.3 was starting to become basically when the diesel performance industry, Dan Scheid will disagree with me, you know, anyone an old company that will completely disagree with me here. But I feel like 01, 2000, like that was kind of when the performance industry started.
Yeah, when Common Rail, I mean, that just like changed the game. Right?
Well, that and you finally had the big three all playing. It wasn't just like you had now you've got like your VE pump, you know, making anemic horsepower. You got your OBS 7.3, which had electronics on there, can be dialed up, but still making not great. You have your VP trucks, and finally in that early 2000s, you know, I would say the 01 to 04, right in there. You have your late 7.3s making more horsepower, easy to tune, that kind of stuff. You got your LV7 coming out with tuning, common rail injection, blew everybody's mind, and you got Ram coming out with 5.9 common rail in 03. It was just like, you know, bam, 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 everything's happening. And then you have Ford coming out with 6.0, which. Take it or leave it. You know,
It's still amazing when it comes out.
It is.
Yeah.
When it did, and then obviously everybody had all these issues and whatnot. Keep in mind, during that time period when the 6.0 was apparently having all these issues, it was still the best-selling diesel pickup in the United States. That's one of the things you always see people like, I see nothing but 6.0s in the shop. Well, from 03 to 07, there were like more 6.0s sold like by threefold between Ram and Duramax.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So just deal with that. There's just more of them out there. So yes, you're going to see more of them in the shop. But obviously now we all know. Even just when I'm fairly late to being on like this side of the counter of the diesel industry compared to you guys. I got on this side with diesel stuff in 14. But even just from when I started, the stigma of the 6.0 has like faded away.
Yeah.
It's now like, well, we know what happens.
I don't know if it's faded completely away.
But it's
less.
the people know about it more. They're not surprised with it, but there's a lot more knowledge as far as, well, we know how to fix it,
Yeah.
and we know what to do to make it run right. And actually, when they run right, they work really well.
You're a great engine.
Yeah.
Just with a few problems, you get rid of those problems. They're amazing engines.
Yeah.
And like I say, 4.
Yeah. And the water pumps are easy on those, so that's a good thing. You've seen what it takes to.
Yeah.
What's a trip is for those of us that started in this, for seeing the industry progress to where it is now. Like companies are becoming. Back in the day, it was basically guys, a lot of farmers that came up with good ideas, or a lot of electrical engineers that saw this industry kind of coming, and they came up with something. There was a lot of grassroots, smaller companies. Now there's so many monster companies, and it's funny to see how this industry is really. Not saying it wasn't an industry before, but we've really just sort of come into this. Like, we're not playing around anymore.
Yeah.
It's. I don't know how to say it right, but it's really kind of a real serious industry nowadays. It's not what it was years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, huge. I mean, a lot of people, it's their whole livelihood is these trucks now. Like, you didn't see that with like 6.2s or 6.5s. Like people like, nobody's making money delivering with a 6.2. I can tell you that right now.
Well, we're getting older and having kids, and our lives are changing, and those of us who were just playing around and having fun.
Yeah.
Okay, we need to make this into something serious.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a lot more refined.
Yeah.
And even again, I just said, even just from when I started, there have been so many people that call in now, just like, I need to get a muffler for my truck. This thing's too loud.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I hear you, man. Like, I got a kid. I'm about to have another one. Like, he's like, dude, don't get me wrong. I love the sound of a straight pipe. I've had a straight pipe for like 10 years. This thing's too loud.
Yeah.
I love the power, but can you give me something that just knocks it down a little bit? Yeah. I feel like I'm cheating on myself. You know? You have this like connection inside. Like, I can't believe I'm saying this. It's too loud.
Yeah.
Like, I feel you, dude. Like,
Yeah.
we're a lot of the diesel industry is kind of grown up. You know, a lot of us are getting, you know, in our 30s.
Yeah.
I'm on the wrong side of 30 now. But
I remember my
old
second
ass
gen.
Adam over here.
Yeah, I had a freaking downpipe. That's it. That's all I had. Like, that thing was loud, like obnoxiously.
Straight out the downpipe?
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, I sure did. And then I got that the Eco Diesel, and that was straight piped, and that's when I started. That's where the change occurred with me going, this thing's too loud. I'm like, wait, who said that?
Yeah.
Oh, that was me. It is too loud. Yeah, this sucks. I'm trying to tow, and this thing is terrible. Like, it's so funny. And now, like, look at my truck. My truck's completely stock. Look, I haven't done. Oh, I did airbags, but it works for what I use it for, and I use it for what it's what it was supposed to be used for.
Same
So,
I'm driving an Eco Diesel Jeep.
are you?
Eco Diesel Jeep, you know?
Yeah.
It's funny how we change.
Yeah. Even my wife was like, "Are you gonna get wheels and tires for the truck?" I'm like, "I'm gonna get wheels and tires for the side by side. Get that. I'm gonna toy with that instead of the truck. The truck's doing fine."
And with that, now everyone knows you're not an enthusiast anymore.
Oh, I am. Oh, I am.
That's what I always worried.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I had the BMW, and I love driving the BMW, and the F-250 sat on the side. It sat on the side yard, and I drove it every now and then just to drive it. And now I have the Jeep, which I put 16,000 miles on it last year.
Yeah.
Probably 200 on my F-250. Like, you start to feel like these are the people I made fun of years ago.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But life's changed.
Well, I mean, a lot of us are there now.
Yeah.
You know, or it's, you know, and keep in mind, me and Tyler started this podcast. Neither of us had a diesel at that time.
I did.
Okay,
I
well,
was 6'2".
all right, I take that back. So there was a portion of time during
It
this
used
podcast.
diesel fuel.
Yeah. So when we started the podcast, I had just sold my first Excursion, and I was driving at that point an 03 1500 Suburban.
Yeah.
Tyler was driving an old 6.2 Suburban.
Yeah.
And then he sold that, bought Tundra. So there was a while, and like neither of us even owned a diesel.
Yeah. Oh, and trust me, I did get worried. Like, wow, if someone finds out that I have a Toyota Tundra, like this podcast is going down. like I was so like, should I even talk about it? No, it's not.
Well, so let's put a diesel in it at one point.
They thought about it.
Yeah. Probably took it down.
Yeah.
Well, that was kind of one of the things that, not to like toot our horn as far as like the podcast goes, but a lot of that was stuff that we were talking about. You know, at that point, you were selling your first house, moving to your second house. I was trying to buy a house, just had a kid, and that's a lot of stuff that we talked about on the podcast too. Like, guys, like, do I hate myself inside that I own a diesel right now? Honestly, yes. Do I like the fact that I have no car payments across the board, and my $2,000 Suburban gets the job done? I can stack money to buy a house and provide for my family. Yeah. That's really, really freaking important. And we talk about all that kind of shit on the podcast. It's like life stuff.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta do a hard reset and maybe do some things that you don't really want to do, but you gotta do it because it makes sense, and then eventually you get there.
Yeah, and actually, by the time this podcast comes out, this actually is probably going to come out next year, in January sometime, just because we have a couple stacked up, and we got the holiday podcast coming up. So your baby will be, you know, eating and pooping. You'll be in the thick of it, man. Your diesel will be the last thing on your mind. But yeah, I just had an absolute idiotic thought in my head that I'm going to share with everybody. So like,
everybody start recording this.
Yeah.
Just write a screenshot or something.
This is how, like, even with a record this. Even with a second kid, and you know, with my baby girl coming and me taking time off work, I still grossly underestimated how little time I have for everything else in life. This is how bad I underestimated that. So knowing that when she
You're
was
trying to scare me, aren't you?
a little bit,
Yeah, thank you.
knowing, especially with the truck going up right now. So if you're doing this, I hope that you don't tell your wife, and this will come out afterwards. So it doesn't matter. But I actually I knew I was going to take a week off once the baby was born, just because I need to be there for my wife. I got a kid. We don't have any family in town. Everybody's down in California. We're solo up here. So okay, I'm going to be doing that. I'm thinking to myself, I got time. I'll be able to get a couple little small things out of the truck. I got time. It's going to be time of the day. I actually bought parts to make sure that they got here before that week. I literally haven't taken any of them even out of the box. They're in my garage still. I'm looking. I walk by it every day. I'm like, I will never have time to do you. You're gonna stay right there. Like I got nothing. Like I'll be the amount of time I have right now. Like if I have time to like actually fill up the diesel tank on my Excursion, that's like I can take a break.
Yeah.
Instead of like throwing 30 in and like being on my way, like I've got time to fill this 44-gallon tank. Here we go. So
you're saying I should have left my truck in the side yard instead of putting all my cars out the driveway and parking the truck inside. Basically,
You'll have
I
you'll
love
have
my
you'll,
garage for a build that is never gonna happen.
that was bold.
Yeah.
That's bold, man.
But it's-
Especially going into winter, you gotta warm up these damn car before you put your kid in there. Your idle time's gonna go through the roof.
Drive your car. Just got a little Subaru.
How fast does it get warm when it's like 12 outside?
Oh, come on, when was the last time we had 12 out here? 3 years ago?
Last winter?
No. Did we have a 12 day?
I think we did.
It's been
I think
warm
we
in the last
did.
few years. But
Pretty cool.
Sorry, I'm
So-
pulling the strings.
Yeah.
You're right.
But I did notice that, especially for your 7.3 guys, if you have a baby, because I mean, I cannot stand putting my infant in a cold car. I'm not saying like that they shouldn't, learn to deal with the elements or whatnot, but keep in mind this kid's like 3 weeks old.
Yeah.
The only element it knows is milk and shit.
Yeah.
Right? So, and the amount of time it takes to warm up a 7.3 in the winter. It's astronomical.
Yeah.
Even with it plugged in and it running, it still takes like 5 minutes to get heat out of the damn panel.
Yeah.
But yeah, so good job putting your project in the garage.
And you'll have, according to Ben, you'll have 5 minutes every 5 hours to do something. So work fast.
So to make myself look a little better, I have a 4-car garage, so I just
Oh.
put my toys outside.
Yeah,
Still have my toys.
I just
outside.
imagine this 1-car garage with your truck in it for some reason.
He's picturing my garage when I pull anything, because I have like a 1.5 car garage that I fit like 9,000 things into. And yeah, it's like shuffleboard every time you walk in.
And I just put my Ranger in the snow and my boat in the snow. So that's,
Okay.
and now they're gonna live out there, is basically what I'm saying. Like, that's the end of them.
Well, okay, well now my SoCal's coming out here. Tell me about your Ranger.
The Ranger? Oh gosh. I bought it's a 94 Ranger. I bought it when I was still working at a Dodge dealership. 16, 17 years ago now. But and I bought a Bronco at the same time. So it's 4-wheel drive Ranger, but I bought a Bronco that had basically just a basket case. Pulled the axles off it, put the Dan 44 TPP in the front, and 9-inch in the rear. So it's the same width, and the thing I think is like 14 inches wider than stock or something. So you've seen it. It was parked here when I moved up here 4 years ago.
Yeah, my pants got tight.
Yeah.
So I was like, I rolled in the back and I saw it back. I was like, it's a Ranger. Oh shit. Oh. Hey girl. I like ran inside. I was like, Cooper, whose Ranger's up back? Who's my friend?
That's Radham's.
Yeah, where's my friend? I know I have someone here that I need to be friends with. He's like, that's Adam's. Who's Adam? I need to know. If you want to sell it.
It's one of those things that you look at like from 20 or 40 feet away. It's like, ooh, that looks pretty good. You get a little closer, it's like, eh. Then you get even closer, you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not like done, but people who look under and go, that's not the right axle for that. How did you fit that under there? But I don't know, it's 22 inches of travel in the rear. I got strapped at 18. The front cycle's 18 and it's strapped at 16. So
Hell yeah.
it's 4-wheel drive. So I don't know, I like it. I want to put an M57 BMW diesel in it.
Oh, that'd be badass.
One of these days, everyone's like, "Oh, put a 4VT." No. With those types of vehicles, you steer with your right foot.
Yeah.
You go around a corner, you're flooring it to slide around the corner. a 4BT, I'm just gonna kill that thing. Getting on and off the throttle to go through turns, but then that M57 BMW, that'd be fun.
Well, and sub, we can get some more R's out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing worse than like don't get me wrong, with 4BT is cool and everything in its own respect when it's for something like that, but like being a Ranger is gonna slide around corners, having something that revs out at like 3,000 RPM, like, nah,
Yeah.
give me some R's, baby.
Yeah.
I want to feed this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everyone, all my buddies, off-road buddies, keep telling me, just put an LS in it, just put an LS in it. I can't. I've got some sort of disease that doesn't allow me to put spark plugs in things.
Yeah.
So it's I'm gonna spend a lot more and have a lot more headaches and bang my head against a wall trying to find a way to get an M57 in it,
I almost pulled the 6.2 out of the Suburban. I had a 5.3 sitting on the engine stand that was pretty much done. But then we had some transmission issues.
Yeah.
So I got rid of it and then I sold the 5.3. But I was going to take that 6.2 boat anchor out of that truck and put a friggin' 5.3 in there. I just could not stand that engine anymore. It was, oh man.
It's easier. It's just,
I
you
was-
get addicted to that torque, it's hard to get rid of it.
Not on that engine.
No.
Not on that engine. That engine had zero torque. I didn't even know what torque was. Like, it was like, huh? Pretty much just coasting. Like, I felt the wind hit my back of the thing. And, whoa, hey! Now we're going. There's the power. That thing was junk. Sorry, 6.2 owners out there. But,
I thought it was a good looking rig.
yeah.
Yeah, good looking rig.
You could make anything look good and just shove 35s under it and no lift and just start cutting stuff. Yeah, it's sweet.
Body style, though.
Oh, I love the body style. I love it. Yeah, barn doors. It was. I love those old Suburbans. Like my dad, his work truck was a barn door, freaking blue. I don't know if you say Washington State Patrol blue. Like it's like this light blue, like they have for their service vehicles. That's what he drove. And I remember hopping in the truck with him. Hopping in that Suburban with him, going for rides and that, and I was just like, this is so cool, like I love these Suburbans, and I seriously had to do some talking, some convincing to my wife for me to even have that 6.2. She's like, that thing's just a piece of junk, you're gonna be working on it all the time. I'm like, no I'm not. Every night I'm working on it. my gamble didn't pay off on that one.
Did you guys ever see, so a friend of mine, David Kennedy, used to run Diesel Power magazine. I worked for him for a short while until they put him on Hot Rod. But
Mhm.
Diesel guy, engine guy, really, the guy's just, I don't know, one of the best guys that I know. But he, I don't want to say it was an 80s Suburban, but an older Suburban, and he put a 5.9 Cummins in it. It was a bug-out vehicle. So it was a P-pump, P-pump Cummins in it, redid the whole thing. God, I wish you guys had seen it. It's just such a cool build. I don't know if you ever did it, but it was, frame off
That'd be epic.
everything.
Yeah. Well, I wanted. We had a 5.9 short block that got returned because it got damaged in shipping, which the damage was like, I'll tell you, like it wasn't like I could make that work.
It slid off the pallet.
It slid off the pallet. It kind of galled up like where the oil pan would seal in the front cover, and the guy didn't want it, which I wouldn't want it either if I was spending that much money. But it was sitting here, and I started doing research on putting a Cummins in a Suburban because that was my first. And a lot more work because you got to either move the firewall or you have to move the firewall or move the whole like front clip up. Like there's not enough room.
Put one of those Humvee doghouse or motorhome dog.
You gotta a lot more modification. I'm like, I'm trying to do this in my garage.
Yeah, the other thing
5.3 is way easier.
that comes into play too is that yours was a like a half-ton Suburban,
Yeah.
6 lug.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna put a Cummins in there, you need to get yourself some proper axles.
Yeah, I was trying to reuse the 700 R4 that was in it. But that didn't work out.
No, it would have been cool, but yeah, I agree that would have been a lot bigger headache than it was worth. Yeah. All right, so let's get ready to button this thing up. Adam, if people want to find you on the social medias, how do they find you?
At DieselWorld Mag, literally on any social media out there, including OnlyFans. Yes, we have an OnlyFans account, and it's not what you think.
So I had an idea for an OnlyFans account for diesel folks. It was like you basically pay for one-on-one diesel advice through OnlyFans using videos.
That's not a bad idea. We just did it because it was up and coming for other things, and then we just figured, well, you know, before someone takes our names, you should probably take it.
Okay, all right.
All right.
I think there's 2 videos on there.
I totally thought you were joking with the only
Oh, no,
thing.
I'm totally serious. When someone told me, hey, you need to do this, I'm like,
What?
Really?
Like, do I have to show my skin?
So it's at DieselWorld Mag on any social media. Website is DieselWorldMag.com. Magazines are on the newsstand every single month, all over the country, all over Canada. That's us.
Sweet. Well, I really appreciate you being on. I'd like to have you on again sometime soon. I always forget that you're so damn close.
Yeah.
Let's keep talking with you guys. This is fun. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Thank you.
this is how we like to. I know there are other podcasts in land. Nothing against them. In fact, I listen to most of them too. So it's we just kind of feel.
Except for the fast lane truck, you're going down.
we got beef with you guys, all right?
Never met you, but you're going down.
You better hope we don't meet in a parking lot. All right?
Other diesel podcasts are cool.
Yeah, good time. That's cool. Yeah. Hello, Patrick. What's going on? What was the Calgary Power guys? I always forget their damn names. Well, not Nick Peckett, he's the owner, but
Paul?
Paul.
Yeah.
Paul and
I don't know the other guy.
Chris something. Paul and Chris.
Paul and Chris.
Yeah. You guys are tight too. I listen to pretty much all of them. So yeah, it's I think we all fill a certain type of niche in the industry, even though I want to be better than all of them, but it's whatever. I think we're all here for the same reason.
Yeah.
We all need to feel that way.
Yeah.
Competition is a good thing.
It is.
Absolutely.
It truly is. I can keep it tighter every day.
You can do a lot.
Do you?
Yeah. Today I walked. I'm wearing a black shirt.
Oh.
If you didn't realize, me and Tyler actually were in the same damn clothes today.
Yeah, we were.
We both wear the same sweatshirt, khakis, and camel hat.
I just figured you'd call each other before you can. Hey,
That wouldn't work because Tyler doesn't answer his phone when he's not at work.
Yeah.
These are the facts.
When I'm at work sometimes. That's not a phone guy.
Yeah.
It's not a phone guy.
Anyways, let's get about wrap this one up. We greatly appreciate every single one of you guys and gals listening.
Yeah.
We did get an order from a podcast female listener.
Oh, wow.
Super excited.
Yeah.
She bought I think it was an intake for a new Ram. So
Wow.
you've got a female fan,
Hey.
like
right
one.
on.
So that makes like 4 female listeners.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Run that demographic.
Just in all of them, aren't we?
In all of them. There's like 9 girls in the diesel industry. We got 4 of them.
What?
Yeah.
So what people didn't hear behind is the next podcast they're doing shirtless. So that's perfect for female listeners.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to feel real good about your husband, we're going to do a shirtless episode. And then you're going to see my wife's Instagram and be like, what the hell is wrong with her?
Yeah.
What was she thinking?
And then you're going to look at mine and go, this guy hasn't posted in 5 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's me, dog. So, anyways, thanks for tuning in. New episodes come out every Thursday. Adam, again, really appreciate you being out here.
And congrats on the baby.
Congrats on the baby. I can't wait to see some pictures and whatnot. It is a super awesome time. There's a lot of dads that listen to this stuff, and a lot of dads around our age, or even have younger kids, older kids, or just get into it. And you've got. I'm gonna get deep here. You ready? Yeah. Especially because it's a boy. This kid's gonna come out. You're gonna have no idea how you are actually gonna be able to love this ball of freaking fat and bones any more than you can even fathom. And it's gonna be amazing. It is the coolest shit ever. Like being a dad is rad. Like that is. We had an episode a while back called like the coolest. I don't care what kind of truck you have, what house you have. Being a dad and like being present for your kid is like the coolest shit ever. So I'm excited for you to experience that. And
Thank you.
and if any of our listeners have any advice for Adam going into this, I mean, obviously this is going to come out after his baby comes out. See, so I would assume little dude's probably going to be about 4 or 6 weeks old by the time this time comes, and hopefully your feeding times are not what mine are right now, because I'm honestly dead inside. 90-minute feed times, folks. That's right. My little baby girl, 90-minute feed times. If you know, you know. I get no sleep. No sleep. Man, my wife is pumping. The schedules are flip-flopped. It's off. It's terrible. I take 25-minute naps,
Yeah.
roughly. I love it though. I'm excited. I'm excited to do that.
Yeah. Excited about some things, maybe not about sleep.
Well,
Worth it.
I'm super stoked for you, and we're gonna wrap this one up. Thanks everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Real talk, that was fucking rad.
What's that?
These little dudes are. Oh,
I kept feeling like I had like a booger hanging down my nose the whole.
I can smell
time.
something burning. Did anybody smell that? It smelled like something was burning.